All right, you guys, this is the part of the show that we love so much because our guests, you guys, I mean, I don't gotta say it. They're getting so amazing. You guys, he is a celebrity beauty expert. You know him from television. He's Dominican. He's amazing. His name is Jonathan Fernandez.
Hey!
Bienvenido!
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. I love your show, by the way.
Oh my God.
I do. I love the show.
No pressure now.
I really do. I love the show. Thank you for having me.
That is beautiful. Thank you. And welcome to the Latinos Out Loud podcast.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Let's shoot the shit.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Can we curse?
Oh,
Yes.
hell yeah.
Good. Oh,
Claro
good.
que sí.
You are like
Both languages too.
familia right
Okay,
now.
so I can curse in English and Spanish.
Yeah, you
do
can everything.
Swahili.
Only
You
three
can do
coños, though.
whatever.
You're limited to only three coños.
Coñazo. Could you do
Coñazo
coñazo
is-
after the three coños?
Yes, you could.
What about el people? Can we bring back el people?
Love
And
it, people.
Yes.
I love that.
And people
curse.
might get beeped, though. That might get beeped. That might offend.
That would offend people and people.
Yo, you know it's so
Old
funny.
school people.
Funny story. My grandmother, who spoke a lot of English, but she knew I figured out people was bad, so I catch my grandmother cursing. I hear people. I'm like, abuela, what you say? Oh, no, gente en inglés. I was like, oh,
People.
I was like, oh.
People who need people.
What is people?
Yeah, what is
That's what I'm saying. I
people?
don't know. It sounds like
I don't
Timmy,
know.
can you look it up? What
it
is
sounds
people?
controversial, but
He's like,
does.
Frank, what's people?
Good question. I was thinking about
it could be anything you want it to be.
Yo, that's the thing about Dominicans. We come up with curses and we don't even know the true definition of it.
Right. La semilla, random shit.
Why is seed a
Crica. What the fuck? Where'd you come up with crica?
Crica.
I love hate that word.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like it sounds mean and gross, but it's
kind of my
a great
go-to.
word. It's
kind of
fun.
my go-to.
El
It's
people
fun.
is
It's
a
fun.
Oh, I'm sorry. El people is a Dominican slang for shit, fuck, holy shit.
Oh. It kind of covers everything across
Okay.
the board. That's good.
So it's like a Dominican.
It's very
fuck.
versatile.
It's like a
I
fuck.
like it. Yeah.
That's what it is.
Jonathan, you're from New York. You're
Washington
from the
Heights.
Heights.
Nice.
Washington Heights.
Yo, but you out there doing it right now on television. And you're so grounded. Like, you guys listening to this podcast right now, you missed such a beautiful moment between Jose Tibby, who's part of our crew, and Jonathan. They went to school together. Just shows how based in the community you are.
Yeah, well, so I moved back to the Heights. Like this season, they filmed this scene with me and my sister, and that was actually a block away from where I grew up in Pinehurst. Like I was living there literally till a few months ago.
That must be so
I
surreal.
love my hood. I love it. I love walking around. I love eating food and talking shit. And, you know, like I get a lot of feedback about the show, but I love getting feedback from people who are 100% like me. When I walk through the neighborhood, people are like, Niño, pero contrólate. I'm like, yeah.
And the show you're speaking of is Love and Hip Hop.
And it's like a random
Just in
tia.
case.
It's a random tia. Mira,
Uh-huh.
te vi. Tranquilín. Okay.
It's like live.
Coñazo. Okay.
It's like live YouTube comments on the street and shit.
So wait a minute. So when we used to record the podcast from the Heights, I'd be like, hey, when was the last time you were in Washington Heights? Obviously, we can't ask that question right now, but where's your go-to spot to eat? Like a spot, like
Ooh,
if it's
good
2:30,
question.
3 in the morning, you got to eat.
In the
Where would you-
Heights?
Yes, in the
Oh, El
Heights.
Floridita.
Yes.
Floridita. Especially now that they remodeled it.
Oh, yes.
Oh, now it's bougie. They redid the whole thing. It's so cute.
When?
Like a year ago, maybe?
Yeah, a year, 2 years ago.
So we
yeah.
haven't been since.
It's
okay?
good.
I haven't.
Frank
And the food's
loves
better.
that spot, by the way. Oh,
That's
my
my
God.
jam.
That's where he ran into Curly.
I
Was in the
know.
Floridita.
We should do
yo.
a show from Floridita, like a live.
Coming live from Floridita.
Amazing.
Yo, you gotta come for that show. You gotta come for
Hell
that show.
yes. Why? Of course.
What's your go-to dish at Floridita?
Oh. How drunk am I?
On a
Give me
scale
two.
of 1, yeah.
Give me sober and then not sober.
Okay, so sober, I will have me trying to watch my weight. I will have a salad, no pun intended, with the fucking viral video. We'll get to that in a minute.
Oh, we gonna get to that. Yes, indeed.
we are.
I
So I'll
wrote
get
graffiti.
So I'll get a salad with repollo, but the beans on the side. So I'll put the beans on the repollo, so it feels like arroz con, with arroz con,
Yeah.
con habichuela,
Yeah.
and chicken. But then if I'm drunk as shit, I get pernil, I get pastelito, I get moro, and I get yuca on the side with cebolla.
You know what is so crazy? The reverse. You were telling about the sober one. It's kind of blurry, but with the drunk one, you're like,
Oh,
clear.
Clear.
Like,
Clear.
clear.
Diction and
It's like muscle memory when you're ordering. Sí, ya yo sé tú quieres tu pernil y todo eso.
They already know too when I walk in. They're like, tenemos longaniza.
Por ahí viene Jonathan. Okay, there's been a couple of things happening in your life. I mean, to say that you're here very timely, you have a lot to get off your chest, and I want you to use this forum to really do that. So let's talk about the incident on the plane first.
Okay. So it's New Year's Day. I'm flying back from Vegas. It's the last flight out. It's 11 o'clock. Already, there's a energy in the fucking airport in Vegas. The last flight out, so many people lost so much money. So many people are drunk, belligerent. So it's already kind of feeling like that. I get on the plane, and there's a row of people kind of going back and forth. And I'm like, what's happening? These people probably lost mad fucking money. They're pissed as shit. The husband's probably like, bitch, I told you, let's go home. So I'm like, I'm just not going to pay attention to this.
Give them the watch, honey.
Yes. She's like,
my grandfather
the kids' tuition. So I'm like, I'm not going to pay attention. Go to my seat, and it's kind of like escalating a little bit. And all of a sudden, I see this white lady scream to these two, like, older black people. I eat salads. I eat salads. That's why I eat salads. You people need to eat salads. I'm like, whoa, you people.
That nothing comes good after.
No.
Right.
Nothing
So
comes good.
my antennas are all the way up now. It kind of escalates some more. The flight attendant comes, and the woman is spiraling. She's like, get me out of here. I'm squashed. I don't fit. These fat people. She's just losing it. The woman leaves, and nobody's saying anything. Like, nobody's speaking up in these people's defense. And they're handling it graciously, by the way, because had it been me or had it been any of my motherfucking relatives, honey, the plane would have never left.
Oh, boy.
Were they just embarrassed, or were they just like, I don't want to be involved in this?
I don't know. I think they were just really trying to handle it
What if they
as
just had their
graciously
Beats
as
headphones
possible.
on and didn't know?
Well, so it
Were they
turns
like,
out
we just trying to eat? Like, I mean, this lady's getting pissed off about salad, but we hungry.
JB!
No, maybe they're eating. I don't know.
Okay.
So finally, I lose it, and I start screaming at the top of my lungs to the woman, "You're disgusting!" and spiral out of control, unaware that the whole thing is being filmed by the woman who was actually being belittled.
Oh.
The flight attendant comes back. They're trying to move her all over the plane. They're trying to put her next to me, and we're going back and forth. She's like, well, fuck you. I'm not politically correct. And I'm like, yes, sis. I know exactly what that's code for. Fuck you, Miss MAGA. I know what you're talking about here. So I tell her, yeah, it was like, no, the woman can't sit next to me. She's like, well, that's the only empty seat. I said, well, she's shit out of luck because she ain't sitting here. And I got the woman kicked off the plane. Before we leave, the woman who was videotaping this whole thing puts it on her Facebook. And it's an 8-hour flight with the wind factor and all that bullshit. By the time we land in New York,
Jetstream.
For that detail.
He's a good storyteller.
That's for high velocity, 80 miles an hour. You know, you're going against the wind because it's usually a 6-hour flight.
Yo, the headphones are perfect for what you're about to tell us. Right
Yes.
So we land in New York. She posts this video 8 hours before. All of us are asleep. We wake up at 6 a.m. I land in New York, and my phone is going off. And I'm like, what's happening? Why is everybody texting me? And all these people are sending me videos of me on all different kinds of blogs spiraling on this woman, like, for being a racist. So now it's really like all over the place, on the New York Post and Inside Edition and all over the place.
You rallied the whole plane.
Yeah.
To get this woman off.
Oh, I was not taking my foot off her fucking neck because she was a bigot and I could feel it. And her aggression was coming from something else and I could sense it. And I said, nah, bitch, I'm going to put my foot on your neck because it's never been done to you before and I'm going to teach you a lesson.
So I read that you signed a deal with Delta, so when someone got to get kicked out,
it was United.
When it gets United, they have you come and kick them out.
Right, yeah.
Can we get that Dominican guy here, please? We've got somebody we really can't.
Think of the money they're going to save on microphones and megaphones with my loud ass.
Yo, did everybody high five you, like, getting off the plane? Like, yo, son, yes, son.
So some of the people around were like, you know, we wanted to say something, but we didn't know. I'm like, well, bitch, if you say something, say something.
Yeah, but what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, you know? So I wanted to, I didn't want to, cause any trouble.
That's a great point.
this actually, because we were going to talk about, I was going to mention the Instagram story you had of getting racially profiled in the Soho store.
Oh yeah.
And so
Something else we gotta talk.
From seeing that, I was like, I want to see like now, and with the airplane stuff, I want to see a TV show of you just kind of like shouting people out for fucking doing
Telling
fucked up shit.
motherfuckers off.
There is that.
Yeah.
Love and hip hop.
Love
That's
and
all I do is shut them bitches out.
There we go. Full circle.
But that
That's
was
right.
when you were filming yourself and you went into the store straight up and was like, yeah, I
Because
want
they
to
accused me of I was meeting up with some friends in Soho. I'll keep this one brief because it's not gonna be all a storytelling
us.
time. I feel like you guys should be sitting on the floor and just like watching. Hey guys, story time.
More stories, Jonathan.
Ooh, sheesh. So it's Soho and it starts raining out of nowhere. I'm meeting up with my friends. It's like I have my friend's a photographer. He's married to this millionaire, and my friend has a master's from fucking NYU. So it starts pouring. I see this store that the stylist put me in all the time. I never even heard of it. So I'm like, oh shit, these are the jeans that fit my fat ass. So let me go in. I'm looking around. This young girl, white girl, walks up to me. By the way, everybody in the store is white. And it was packed. I walk in, Latino as fuck. The girl walks out to me. Hi, can I help you? I was like, oh, girl, she scared shit out of me. Not yet. Not yet. I'm looking around. She's like, okay, are you looking for something in particular? I said, well, no, I wear this stuff all the time, but I've never been in the store. I'm looking around. I'm waiting for my friends. Oh, your friends? Yeah, no. Your friends just robbed us. I was like,
Wait,
what?
what?
I swear to God. Oh, they called the police and everything. So I was like, oh, wait, what? She's like, yeah, your friends? Is it 3 of them? And I said, I think 2 or 4. I'm not sure. It was 3 of them. I'm telling you right now, your friends just robbed us. Call them. You'll see. I was like, girl, you have got to be kidding me. You don't even know me. What's happening? So these 2 white ladies next to me, they were like, oh my God, we're so sorry that you're going through this. I'm just kind of like in shock. Like, is this really happening to me? Because nothing,
fuck?
I live in New York. Shit like this, at least I never experienced this before. I know it happens. I don't want to discredit people who have received this treatment, but it never happened to me before. So the women felt bad. They left, and I FaceTime my friends, and I was like, where are you guys? You're being accused of like robbery here. Like, I'm like, was it them? She's like, yeah, no, it wasn't them. So my friends finally come, and my friends are wackadoodles just like me. They're like, you. They walk up to her, you. The girl's like, yeah, no, it wasn't you, and dismisses them. She's like, don't dismiss me with your hand. Do not dismiss me with your hand. She's like, come over here. She's like, do you have anything to say for yourself? And she's like, it wasn't you, whatever. She's like, that's all you have to say? She said, bitch, you're lucky I'm not spitting in your face. So the girl's like, I'm not taking this. I'm calling the police. So she calls the police on us in Soho. And I'm like, oh, great, call the police, because I was just racially profiled. So great, call them. The police comes and they're like, you guys have to leave right now. I was like, we didn't do anything. She accused us. We were calling. We're happy you're here because we thought we were going to get some sort of resolve. Nothing. So I was like, oh, I got something for all your asses. So I went on live and it blew up like that. So it was everywhere.
God,
So the company reached out, the owner of the company. Then it turns out he's like some French millionaire who's been stuck in this stuff before. He was racist against Asians and all kinds of shit. So that was that story.
That is infuriating.
Yeah.
And the
I
girls
got
in that
him, too.
store, they didn't even look like they would be working in a posh Soho. They looked like they worked at Cracker Barrel or something shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
God.
they looked like
They did.
Yeah, I was like,
Totally.
It didn't look like a Soho kind of, situation.
So sorry that you had to go through something like that, but congrats and kudos for like bringing awareness to it.
I'm happy that it happens to me because I have heat. Like,
Yeah.
I will put my foot on your neck and let you know I don't give a fuck what I look like or sound like. I don't even have a GD. I dropped out of high school, but I'm going to keep my foot on your racist ass and teach you this is not right.
People are going to know, they're going to notice you, and they're going to be like, oh, is that Jonathan Fernandez? Chill. Stop being
Yeah.
racist. Stop being racist. Stop being xenophobic.
You're going to be on every blog.
People are gonna start singing the Dominican anthem to you, like, oh, he's coming, honey. Come on, sing we can learn practice. Listen, this is the Latinos Out Loud podcast, and so what we do when special guests like you come here is like, we could talk about everything we see on television, and that would be great, but there was a lot of interesting things that we read about you, and one of those things was that you were sent to gay conversion camp.
In DR.
Can you please
In DR.
just educate us about what you went through, and then if you can close the loop on that by telling everybody what you're doing about it and how you're advocating for those victims.
Okay, so I grew up being bullied really bad because I was very, very effeminate. And my family was kind of like at their wits' end. They were like, if these kids don't kill him, he's going to end up getting so depressed he's going to kill himself. So my family in DR, back in the 90s, there used to be a television show. I don't remember what it's called, but it was a TV show with a doctor. It was like a Dr. Oz, but in DR. Okay. So my aunt was watching that show specifically, and there was a therapist who went on saying that if you suspect your child is gay or questioning their gender or anything or their sexuality, you can submit them into this program and kind of train their brains to be what they considered normal. So my aunt calls my mom here in New York, and she's like, is Jonathan still getting bullied and picked on? My mom was like, yeah. And she's like, oh, there's a doctor here that deals with that. So my mom was like, okay, what does it entail? So my aunt's like, I'm not really sure. I'm going to go look into it. My aunt went, spoke to this doctor, and he was very evasive with the information. So they sent me to DR. He's like, yeah, you guys have to leave him here for 8 months. And, while he's here, you guys have to give us some sort of privacy. He gets to leave with you, but don't question him about the treatment. Don't try to get information from him because you guys coddle him and baby him. And chances are he's going to let you know that he's not having a great time here. So, my mom submits me into this program, and every time she calls, I would just break down crying, but I wouldn't really talk about what's going on.
Oh my God.
Till finally one day I was like, Mom, I would rather get bullied for the rest of my life than ever have to go back there. And it was terrible. Like they would drop me off at 9:00 in the morning, and it was psychotherapy, but of the worst kind. Imagine being locked in a room, right? You're a Latina woman. Imagine being locked in a room right now by a doctor, and you're a child, you're 10 years old, and he's trying to convince you so much that you are a white boy, the exact opposite of you. Everything you say, you have long hair? No, you don't. Why do you want to have long hair? You have short hair, just breaking you down mentally till you're just frozen. Anything you say is wrong. So I just kind of got hip to it, and I was like, I'm just going to tell this man that I am into Ninja Turtles. My favorite color is blue. I want to play baseball. Just anything I thought was going to be what he wanted to hear, I did that. He figured out that I got hip to the game, moved on to hormone therapy.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So they started injecting testosterone into me, and I was really little. I was frail. I was skinny as hell, tiny. And the hormones used to tense up my muscles. So they would have to take me out on a stretcher and put me in the back of those 4x4s in DR where they take chickens and shit.
Yeah.
So they would take me in one of those 4x4s.
Like a pickup truck?
A pickup truck, yeah. A full pickup truck. And they would put all these comforters in the back because I couldn't bend my legs to sit in the back of a seat. It was terrible. Moved on to I guess it was shock therapy, but when I watched stuff about shock therapy, it was kind of different. But it was stickers that they would put on my hands, on my feet, on my stomach, and they would ask me questions. And if he didn't like my answer, he would shock the shit out of me. At 10 years old, electricity. And my mom never knew, and we really never talked about it till Love and Hip Hop last year. And when I realized her reaction on camera, I was like, I don't know how much deeper I want to go into this conversation with my mom in front of the world. So I kind of stopped, and then I told her the rest off camera. She just cried. She said, you should have told me. I would have ran and taken you out of that.
Yeah, this is very hard to hear.
It's crazy.
It's really hard to hear.
And this man is still doing this in DR.
And what is there a specific section in DR that this
the capital
happened? The capital?
In La Capital.
Wow.
You're doing some special things now for victims that may have gone through what you went through. Can you tell us about that?
So I advocate a lot now for gay conversion therapy. There's all kinds of outreach programs and stuff, and I realized that while it is important obviously for all of us to get together and talk, I said, there's no point of us being in these circles and talking if nothing's going to happen. What we need to do is further the voices, and you guys have to talk about it really publicly and educate people, so any chance I get to publicly speak about my experiences, I exploit the topic because I want people to know this isn't okay. It just last week became illegal in New York.
Yes, it
just last week. Think about that.
How?
Something so savage. 60. What are the statistics? I think it's 36% of children who go through this end up committing suicide.
Jesus.
Wow.
And it seems like the hormone therapy would be the thing that would put it over the edge to make it illegal. You know what I mean? It's really they're gonna go to this drastic. these drastic measures to like do whatever.
And
they're
your
trying to
brain
do.
is still forming at that time.
Yeah.
You know, there's such chemical imbalances that I still deal with. You know, I dealt with depression, I dealt with self-medication, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, sex abuse, all kinds of abuse. But and this my whole life, I'm like, if I'm such a happy person, what void am I trying to fill with drugs? I did every drug under the sun, and I'm like, why? You have everything. You're successful. You're happy. You get all the dick you want. What the fuck are you looking for? Seriously. So I was just, you know, when I sat through therapy, therapists are like, you gotta learn that you're always gonna have a chemical imbalance because of what happened to you as a child. They fucked you up. So once you become aware of that, you have to make the decision. Do you want to fill the deficit in your brain with drugs and make it worse? Or do you want to sit before you snort anything up your nose and say, this is why you want that?
I have a two-parter. One, has there been a success out of the conversion therapy that people are continuing to do it even though there's so much?
I think there's liars, and I think religion doesn't help. I think Christianity has a lot to do with it. I think, you know, till the Pope, who is allegedly so open-minded, comes out and says, stop targeting gay people. It is not your place. The Bible talks about homosexuality twice. It talks about judgment over 20 times. So in my opinion, if God is out here telling you, don't do this and don't do that, if he told you don't do some shit 20 times, chances are that's a bigger sin. Mm-hmm. Chances are he's trying to keep you from doing that more than me getting butt fucked. So mind your business.
Mind your business.
And my second part, with this administration, because there was progress, and not the progress that's supposed to be as fast, but now with this administration, especially Pence, who's famous for the conversion therapy.
Well, I think he's a big fruitcake, by the way.
People
not kidding.
No, for real. No, serious.
Okay.
Seriously. He calls his wife mama, so I mean,
okay.
Right?
He needs some milk.
It's making it even harder now, right? Because you have to double down because now people are even coming out and being more comfortable and open about it.
Yeah.
How do you get your voice out and kind of like get over that new challenge with this administration?
I'll be honest with you, if there comes a point where you feel hopeless. I don't know if you guys know what happened to Jesse Smollett from Empire.
Today, yes.
He was gay bashed, and he was attacked in Chicago by Trump supporters, and they said this is Trump's America. They put a noose around him. They threw bleach on him, and they said fuck you. They said something like fuck you, nigger, faggot.
Wow.
Is this the great America that Trump wanted to bring back?
Oh my God.
Like what era of America was so great that you want to make it that again? And all this energy that he is putting out there is just making it worse. He's giving people the right and an excuse to behave like this. I can't imagine in 2019 a gay black man who is so successful and has done so much for so many people to be beat up and have a noose put around his neck.
Oh
I can't imagine it.
That is...
The fuck? He was walking the subway to get a sandwich. He was hungry. So fuck Donald Trump and fuck Mike Pence. Fuck them up the ass, hard body. I hate them.
And stop wearing those hats. Stop wearing them hats, Kanye.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Oh, Jonathan, you have, you're so vocal and you're doing so much for our people. We see you representing for us on Love and Hip Hop. Like, talk to us a little bit about the experience. What do you love about it? And is there anything you hate about it?
Okay, what I love about it is I get to be 100% honest, and I get to make money with my friends. Because everybody on the show is my friend, you know? So it's like you make money to go sit and have a free dinner in a beautiful restaurant and talk shit with your friends.
Amazing.
What I hate about it is those conversations usually take anywhere from 45 minutes to 2 hours. Each scene is that. And the editors take out the most sensational parts of it. So when you do that, some things can come across out of context, like messy, dramatic, whatever. So I'm a person who, if you take anything I say out of context, this whole interview, if all you take out is fuck Mike Pence and Donald Trump up the ass, it's like, this nigga's crazy.
Well, we were gonna lead with that in the promos, but
If you don't mind.
You know what I mean? So so I hate that part of it. I need to learn how to speak in shorter sound bites, so what I say can't be completely taken out of context. That's the worst part of it.
and then you see this for the first time on the episode.
Yeah, as the audience is watching it.
So talk to us about that experience. What do you do? Do you have to be alone? Do you watch it with friends? Do you sip some tea?
I watch it home alone with Domino's. I overeat. I order all the food. I lay in my bed. I wallow in my sadness. I sit and think hard about my life decisions, and then I just don't open my Twitter or Instagram for like 48 hours.
Oh, so that's interesting. Tell us why.
Because people are going to give their opinions, and at the end of the day, this is not a gay show. Already going into it, people watching it probably have a preconceived notion of what gay people are, and people watching it are already probably looking for a great reason to hate me because maybe they grew up hating gay people or whatever. And I don't know what's going to happen on the show or who I'm going to go against that they assimilate with when they never will assimilate to me because they're not gay like me. So it's going to be like, oh, wait a minute, that gay boy's coming for her. She's just like me. Oh, well, then fuck you. So I'm always going to be at odds, but I don't know how to be anything but real. If you try somebody, I'm going to check you for it. And that's just how I am.
So you were mentioning that you want to do a podcast. Let us know like how that podcast will look like. And are you going to have us on your podcast?
Guests, I'll be.
Duh!
Wait, what did you think this was?
What else? Hello?
Duh, don't you think there's strategy here?
Smart.
Wait, what makes you want to get into podcasting and what are you doing? Tell everybody.
Well, I did have a podcast for a while there with my friends, but it didn't work out. Like the timing was all over the place.
It's hard, right? It's time consuming.
It is, and especially with schedules. I open up my schedule for anything I want to do. But, when everybody has something going on here and there, left and right, I'm like, well, bitch, y'all bitches can't get it together, so the fuck?
The coordinating.
Yeah.
So you want to do another podcast?
I'm trying to find a good one to jump on. Hint, hint.
Jamie, I'm sorry. You had to run.
Y'all have the same last name. People, Jonathan, Jay Fernandez.
We can't have two Fernandezes on
I know, we
the
do
show.
have the same last name. I'm more light-skinned.
You're also a Jay Fernandez. This is too much.
Yeah.
So
I'll see my way out.
Not to pick favorites, but you in the makeup world and doing the makeup, who have been some of your favorite clients and friends to work with?
Ooh, good question.
That's so hard because that's the thing. All my clients become my friends.
Right.
But when people don't have their hair and makeup, they're the most vulnerable.
Right.
Like when you go to the salon, you tell her everything before she puts the rolos on because that's your most vulnerable. People see you with your face on. People see you with your hair done. So when you're disarmed and you ain't got nothing, you don't have your mask on. You're real, and I make them feel comfortable, like, yo, fuck that pimple. I got it in a second. What's going on? You know what I mean? So everybody becomes my friend. I think of all the clients I've ever had, I'm most close and grateful for Anais and Emily B.
Oh, Emily
I became the
B.
closest with them of all my clients. They're both like my sisters.
Wow.
So there is that thing when you're doing makeup that's where you sort of not saying like therapy, but you're really bonding and you're allowing them to be open because it is true. You're vulnerable when you're in that moment.
And you're in somebody's face for an hour, you know what I'm saying? Like close, like real close. Yeah. We gotta like each other somewhat or have good vibes. I'm not touching you if your energy's bad. I'm not taking that back juju with me.
Has that happened? No names, but has that been a thing?
Tons of times. I fired myself, and from some of my biggest clients, literally.
Because of the energy, because of the bad energy.
I got into a screaming match with this huge rapper. I'm not gonna say who, because at
Rhymes with?
Come
on, Jonathan!
Ain't gonna get me, girl.
Jonathan!
I get into so much trouble as it is. I'm trying to.
Mine starts with nothing.
I'll tell you
Jonathan.
this. She changes her wigs as often as she changes her panties, I would hope. I'm not sure because I never got that close to her box.
Oh, okay.
But
wait, that narrows it
she
down.
was blonde at the time, and she had a black pencil going like this. This is for my brows. I said, bitch, that's not even for your waterline in your eyes. That's the blackest of black. This was Blonde and Bish and Madonna. You're going to look stupid. I'm not doing it. I gave her a pretty blonde brow, and I left. And by the time I was on the West Side Highway, she had gotten to the event that she was going to, and I was seeing it on Instagram, and I was like, texting her and her management, like, I'll never work with this bitch again. Like, this is crazy.
My
She
God.
looks insane, and by the way, the mold she painted on her stuff is twice the size, so she looks crazy.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting behind the
That's
scenes.
juicy.
But the energy, when the energy's bad, I'm like, I'm not taking that back home with me. Money's not worth it.
And you have your own line, makeup line?
Not
Or
yet.
you want,
I'm
that's a goal
working
of
on
yours,
it,
right?
Yeah,
And
but it's a lot of
lashes.
work.
And you were
That is definitely coming
Let's
for
talk
sure.
about
That was
them
easy.
lashes.
That was an easy one.
Okay.
Well, so I have this company that I work with a lot, and they are like, just put your name on our box. I was like, if I can't design it myself, then I don't want to do it. So I said, okay, well, fine, let's do it. So they're giving me about 12 lashes, and I've kind of like literally designed hair by hair, like with a glue gun, and I'm like, it should look like this.
What's
So-
like your approach? Like, because
I like natural
we're
glam.
obsessed with lashes, you guys. You can see your way out if you don't want to be a part of this.
Well, I have
we
beautiful
are.
natural
We're-
eyelashes myself, so.
Is that what those things are? I thought it was just like your eyebrow extension.
No, it's not. Yeah. No.
Unibrow? Isn't that just like a really nice unibrow?
That's, I want to hear about this process.
So I want everybody to look naturally beautiful. I'm sick of girls with these crazy long Betsy the cow lashes.
Come on.
That,
Like if they touching your sunglasses,
Yeah.
you went too long.
like
You know what I
literally,
mean?
girls look like they have like awnings on top of their eyes. Like it looks
Like stop
bizarre
blinking because
to
I can
me.
feel the wind every
yeah.
time you blink.
Like why? Like this should not be out of your eyes. Like this far out.
Like Tammy Faye Baker, like that was in the
Right.
80s.
shit.
Why are we trying to
Exactly.
replicate that?
And she used to cry a lot, which made it worse. So
Why
just be
was she always
why are you
crying?
crying with those lashes?
She was like the Kim Kardashian
So emotional,
crier
yeah.
of
Yeah,
that
why,
decade.
Hey, why did that happen? Her makeup used to run all the time. Who's their makeup artist?
I think they do it for the drama.
True.
Because I cry a lot on the show. My makeup never runs.
Okay, wait,
No
back
shade.
to the question. Your process
Back
in
to the
developing
lashes.
the lashes.
So they let me kind of design them myself. I'm still giving girls the drama that they want, but with a natural flair. You're not gonna have none of that crazy arachna nothing up in here.
Question, Jonathan. When did you wake up one day and say, God damn it, I'm a really great makeup artist? At what point in your career?
When people were flying me out to places, like I was in Dubai doing makeup and in Brazil, and I was like,
Amazing.
oh shit. And I was a kid. I was like 21. I was like, fuck,
Wow.
I'm good at this. Like if I wasn't good, they could have brought anybody to these countries, and they brought me. So I must be doing something right.
Incredible.
And one of your early influences was when you were younger was Bob Ross. Is
Yeah.
that-
Yo, I used to.
Why are you laughing at him?
Jeez.
Jamie,
No,
why you?
because I heard
Fernandez, why you
that. I heard
laughing
that in
at
an interview. That's like an old. Come on, everybody love Bob Ross. That's
Yeah.
real.
I
The
love
fro.
Bob Ross.
But like, what was it like when as a kid? Like you just liked the way that he just worked the
don't-
paints.
It was kind of like, what is that shit everybody's into now?
Oh,
ASM?
Yeah,
80
right. In the voice.
ASMR.
ASMR.
S&M.
It was
something.
soothing, Jamie. That's not the same.
That's not the Bob I know.
Yeah.
Not the same thing.
Right.
But it was something so like soothing about his voice. Even to hear the brush hitting the canvas, you remember the sound it was?
Yeah, it was soothing.
It was kind of very like zen.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, my grandmother was, Niño, tú no me oyes voceando. Abuela, yo estoy viendo esto.
Abuela, I'm watching Bob Ross.
I'm in a Bob
Bobito
Ross.
Ross.
Bob Ross trance.
Yo no sé, estos niños no oyen nada. Y ese hombre ahí con ese pelo siempre pintando.
Damn, R.I.P. Bob Ross, yo.
They still have his reruns on Netflix. Sometimes I'll watch and I'll be
Yeah.
like,
Oh
somebody
my
walks in, I'm like,
God.
no, I'm good.
They put him on Netflix, I heard.
He's on
Yeah,
Netflix.
that's
Yeah. I should go to
crazy.
sleep to that.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
a great idea.
Yeah.
Well, look, we have to wrap up this interview, sadly. But
I had a great time with you guys.
Final question: like, what can we expect from you over the course of the next decade or so?
I would say probably more screaming.
Okay.
More like outreach for like the gay community and Latinos and stuff. Probably more orgies with my friends like Anais and stuff. I hope she's open to it. I mean,
Oh,
Oh, wow. Part
and,
two of the
fun
interview.
stuff like that. Yeah.
I would do a podcast live from that kind of setup.
From the orgy?
Yeah.
Coming to you live from Jonathan's orgy.
I mean, guys, what you're hearing in the background is real. I'm going to give you a play-by-play. Jonathan, you look great.
I'm at the red carpet here, live at the red carpet at Jonathan's orgy.
So funny.
I wouldn't mind. Anais just came into the building, so hey, Light Eyes. Yeah, go ahead.
So funny.
Well, she's another Dominican doing it for us too. You know what I mean?
is. I
Y'all
love that girl.
out there doing it for
Yeah,
us.
it's amazing,
Thank you.
man.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for coming on the show, Jonathan
Yes.
Thank you for
Fernandez.
having me. Thank you, guys.
Come
Thank
on, you
thank
guys. Come on.
I've known this guy for a very, very long time. A very funny man. Put your hands together for comedian Aldo Marachilin.
Was that close, Aldo?
Close?
Yeah, why
On a 1
not?
to 10 scale.
We'll go for it. It's not bad. Well, the Armenian. I'm Italian and Armenian, but I was born in Uruguay. That's why I speak Spanish.
Oh.
So the Armenian way is Marashlian, but I always say Maraclian because no one could say Marashlian. But everyone's like, "Oh my God, you should say Marashlian. It sounds so sexy." So I'm like,
Say it again,
Just say Aldo.
Marashlian.
Like in school too, it was like, Aldo, mom. I'm like, right here, teach. I'm here.
Oh my God! Wait, you said a lot of backgrounds, a lot of ethnicities at once. Can we go over that one more time?
So,
Yeah.
my mom was Italian, my dad was Armenian, and they immigrated to Uruguay as children during World War II, and they had me.
Wow.
In Uruguay.
Uruguay, la
Wow.
República Oriental del Uruguay.
Wow, that is.
So it's funny because I perform for seniors during the day. And about like a month ago, this old black woman was like, "You're so handsome. What nationality are you?" And I was like, "I'm Italian, Armenian, born in Uruguay." She goes, "You're gay?" I said, "No, Uruguay." And the lady next to her goes, "What he say?" And she was like, "He's Italian and he's gay." I'm like, "This bitch."
So now the rumor mill
At the senior
at
center.
the senior center is.
That's so cute. You perform at a senior center. That's
I perform
awesome.
for the seniors during the day. It's pretty. I just started doing it in August.
They must love you.
It's very different because I just like you have to be squeaky clean. So all I do is I just literally freestyle with them. So I'll be like, I do it in Spanish too, like depending on the center. So I'll be like, who's single? And they're like, me. And some of them raise both hands. I'm like, oh, you really single? And
You single.
yeah. And I'll be like, well, like let's say if I do a show in the Bronx, I'm like, well, I'm married, but I'm only married in Queens, girl. Here in the Bronx, I'm single. They're like, ooh. So I mean, and the funny thing with senior centers, like when you go into these senior centers, there's always like a little basket in the front with condoms and lube.
No.
And lube?
And lube. Well, hello, you're senior.
No,
Are you
yeah.
for real?
It's not like
I
you
just
got-
want to know.
it's not like
I
you
would
got-
just assume they wouldn't know what it is. It's like, do I drink this?
No, they know. And it's funny because
Pepto-Bismol goes
Where do
down by
I
your
rub?
esophagus.
Where do I rub this on?
no, it's crazy because they also have like pamphlets like with syphilis, STDs, and I took a picture and I'm like, this is what's going on.
Yo,
out
so
there.
they knocking boots in the senior center?
Well, think about it. You're in a senior center.
Orthopedic boots.
Yes.
Well, think about it. All you're doing is eating Jell-O, playing bingo, and getting laid. I think laid's gonna win.
Sounds nice.
Yeah.
I need 2 Jellos in you. Come over here.
Is there a Viagra guy that just is like, hey, go to Rusty. Rusty will hook you up with the Viagras.
Rusty with the goiter? Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I did a show one time in the Bronx, and I asked this one lady, so what did you do before you retired? Swear to God. She was like, I was a prostitute. And I'm like, well, you don't got to retire, girl. I'm like, you inside. It was the summer. I was like, you're inside. You could walk these hallways. You got the air conditioner, right? And there was this viejito in the front, and he was like mad old. Like, he was like in his 90s. And I'm like, I don't think you got a cane because you're old. I'm like, I think she tired you out.
Oh, my
And she was like, and he was like, yeah, I know her. And so everyone's like, so I guess everyone's like, anda ahí repartiendo el culo ahí. I don't know. So,
The senior center
the
skank.
senior center. That's my new thing. It's funny because I'm cleaning up my act, but I was always like a very dirty comedian. Like everyone, like I mostly do the urban circuit. So everyone used to always say like I was the Andrew Dice Clay of the black circuit. But now I'm just cleaning it up more because I want to clean up my name so I could get more work. And I started so I literally do more clean shows than dirty shows. So I do the senior center. It was like, how the fuck do you get into these senior centers? And I'm like, dude, I don't do any dirty stuff. So, but it's fun. It's different.
Do they know any, do you have to go like really old with references? Like, yo, what was up with Mark Twain? That dude was crazy.
Yo, Betsy Ross was crazy.
Betsy Ross.
But it's different. It's fun. It's paying the bills.
What got you into stand-up comedy?
Well, I'm 47. When I was 25, I was working in the shoe store on 8th Street. And this man came in and he was selling tickets to his one-man show. And I always loved comedy. And I was like, how long you been doing comedy? He's like, 13 years. And he told me his name. I'm like, dude, you must suck because I never heard of you. I'm like, it probably wouldn't take me that long to do it. And he's like, why don't you do comedy? I said, I have stage fright. So a year passes. Now I'm managing the store on 71st and 3rd. I'm Windexing the windows. Same guy comes. He remembers my name. He's like, Aldo, right? I go, I remember his face. I go, yeah. He goes, how are you, man? I'm like, man, not too good. I'm homeless now. I'm cleaning windows. He's like, shit, man, sorry to hear that. I'm like, Dick, it's the same store. So he's like, that's it. I'm putting you on stage tomorrow. And I just went on stage. He got me a New York Comedy Club, like, before they even had, like, it's funny because I never did an open mic. I never did a bringer show. He just literally threw me on a regular stage. And I just freestyled up there talking about what I used to, how this man came in. I started making fun of the club. And I got off stage and I remember I went up to the manager and I was like, how did I do? He's like, well, kid, I would rate you like top 2 comic, but since it's your first night, I'll say top 5. He's like, you want to go up again? And I'm like, sure. And I went to the bathroom and I just threw up. But I did it for about a year like that, but then I just stopped because I didn't know how comedy works. So I was like, why am I always one of the funniest ones, and I don't have a manager or an agent? So I just gave it up, and then like 4 years later, I saw the busboy on the Tonight Show, and I'm like, wait a minute, if he's on the Tonight Show, I gotta get back into comedy.
Wow.
Nothing against him, but I was like, this is crazy. But the thing that's great about comedy is like you never know if you stop. Like you could always stop and come back, and there's really no age for it. So it's like, think about it. Like if I'm always working at your club, and now your club's booking me, I'm not going to go to your club. So you're like, oh, he's probably busy. But I wasn't busy for like 5 years. And then I got back into comedy. And when I went to the club, everybody's like, hey, Aldo, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. You want to get on? And I got like right on stage without like anything. And I went on stage and I remember I said, I want to produce a show again. And I produced the show, sold it out. And the manager that night, some other manager, he's like, wait a minute, you haven't been on stage in 5 years? And you got that confidence?
Anyway, so talk about now. Where are you performing? Where can we check you out?
I do a weekly show every Wednesday for the past 2 years in West New York, New Jersey. It's a place called Social 59, 512 59th Street. It's free admission. There's no drink minimum, but it's great. It's me and like I usually put like 2 or 3 comics, but I just do a lot of time. Like if you could literally come every week, like I have people that literally come every week for almost 2 years. And I don't do any material. I just freestyle off the crowd, and they keep coming. And the young lady, your intern, she was asking me, when do I write? And I actually said, I don't write. What I do is I freestyle, and then I'll tell people, like, yo, that shit was funny. Just text me what I just said. And then I'll incorporate that.
Do you have a fucking stenographer that travels with
yeah,
you?
man. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if you said something funny.
Read back.
Like right now. Like
the last joke. No,
like right now. Like I said, like, the cocaine story at Limelight. I'd be like, yo, that shit was crazy. Somebody send me that. It'll be like cocaine Limelight, and then I'll remember. But that's how I get all my material.
Thank you so much, Aldo Marachino. Thank you so much for coming.
Holy shit, that was worse than what he said.
Thank you so much, Aldo Cappuccino.
No.
That was great.
Aldo, thank you so much for coming on the show.